Right, hi guys. So today I'm talking to Dirk Chase. So Dirk is a writer, actor, as well as a coach. He's done a few big things, and he's also written a book that we'll be discussing today, which I think is quite interesting. So funny thing is, first welcome, Dirk.
Oh, thank you so much. Really nice to be part of this.
So I've known Dirk for 2 minutes. No, I'm joking. I've known Dirk actually just from Instagram.
Yeah,
It's just
basically.
been here and there, random chat and following each other's journey. And I heard he's coming down this side, and we set up this quick talk to meet each other, and as well, I want to share his story with you guys out there. Like I said, he's been doing big things. So Dirk, first before we start, please tell the people a little bit about who you are, what you've done. We'll talk about where you're heading, but let's start there.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Yeah. Thanks. I also just wanted to say thanks for this opportunity. I think it's really cool when we get to share our journeys with everyone else who's watching. Yeah. Like he said, my name is Dirk Chase. I am an actor and a writer and a life coach. And everything has become one big combination over time because it's not been something that I actually planned. I think acting was always a thing because I do love the film industry.
Cool.
But then it developed from one thing to the next. As an actor, you love scripts, so I would get involved in script writing, and I honestly never thought that I would be writing a book, but then that happened. Life coaching was just also, it came on my path because I do really enjoy speaking to people, about anything. Yeah. And being open to just making people feel welcome. Yes. And heard. I think that's the most important part. Yeah. And then I went to qualify as a life coach because it's good to be a listener, but it's also good to have tools every once in a while. Yeah. And then this whole journey of the book started. Yes. This book, I keep looking down because this is why. So every day is something new for me, and I think that's how I choose to live.
Yeah. That's a good way to live. I think that's a good approach to life. So Dirk, your book, Basic, it's that simple. That's quite a good, it's that simple. Where did this start? How did you, what was the inspiration behind starting to write
a book? So I didn't plan this.
Okay.
I did not plan this. I love the fact that I have the creative background.
Yeah.
But I just went through a really bad patch.
Okay.
In 2024.
All right.
So that was last year. And it was one of those moments where I had to remind myself, who am I?
Okay.
And what do I believe in? And what kind of life do I follow?
All right.
Because everything in Basic is what I do and how I live.
All right.
But circumstances sidetracked me.
Okay.
Completely.
All right.
That I had to, that rock bottom space that I reached, and I sat down thinking, but this is not who I am. The way the world is showing me to be, this is not it.
Yes.
So I had to go and then just remind myself. And it just happened in a space where someone said to me, why don't you just do something in your free time that you love?
Yeah.
And I was sitting with my laptop, so I opened a Word document and I wrote the question. So what do you love doing?
Okay.
And the rest just followed. The questions to the answers. Before I knew it, I was writing.
Okay.
And Basic, what happened was I started writing as if I was telling my story to myself.
Okay.
As if I'm someone else. Just to remind myself who I actually am.
Yeah. Like introspection. Like a very intimate, deep level.
I didn't go too deep because I didn't want it to be about me. It's not an autobiography.
Okay, all right, that's good to know.
So, I'm 34.
Yeah.
I think it's too soon for an autobiography.
Yes.
But it's not that. It was just, I knew that if I asked myself the questions and if I put it out in a certain way, then if I had to have this conversation with myself, I would be able to answer.
That's good.
And then I realized, but if you read this, you could make this your own.
Yeah. You said something very specific, is the way the world is showing me to me.
Yes, because we fall trapped into believing what other people say about us.
Yeah.
And it happens all the time. Yes. So you happen to be in a situation and you hear things about yourself and you go, but that's not me.
Yes.
I would never even do something like that or say something like that, or it's not even part of how I operate.
Yeah.
But then you hear this, and I mean, we live in a world full of narcissists, so it's gonna happen.
Yes.
It's gonna happen to all of us. And then I just had to take a step back and say, okay, but this is not who I am, and if I listen to this, this is just gonna break me down.
Yeah.
And I'm never going back there.
That's a very strong thing to do, and it's a very scary thing to do.
Oh yeah.
Because the worst thing I think for us to do is to look at ourselves. We would rather look at other people, like
Yeah.
you say, and do almost like what you said. Like we'll rather look at someone else and be like, oh, at least I have 2 dogs and not 1 dog, you know, or like we will always try and find a way to feel better about ourselves.
Yeah. If it goes
and then
worse.
hiding, hiding behind that. And once you start looking at yourself, like the way, like you said it now, the way the world shows me to me is so strong and so powerful.
It's a
But
mirror.
it's very, very scary. I think it's very, very scary.
Yeah, if
to
you're
do
not
that.
if you're not conscious
Yes.
about what's going on every day,
Yeah.
and then you start believing these things.
Yes. Yeah, I think we very easily believe what we hear,
Oh yeah.
and then something happens, and then you see it, and you're like, oh, you know, it is like that. So I'm gonna continue down this path, and then maybe we shouldn't. Maybe it's a part where, like you said, we need to stop and be like, oh, let me look at my
Yeah, do the
situation. Is that
self-reflection.
me? Is it like, where did that come from?
Exactly.
And then, yeah,
Because it will happen often that I see with people act strong.
yes,
And then we could get into a bit of an argument, and you could say a few things to me.
yes.
And I could be strong in the moment, but I
Yeah.
go home and I sit and I think, wow, JP said that.
And then it hits you.
And am I that horrible?
Uh-huh.
Is that really who I am? Is that what the world sees?
Yeah.
And then you start asking questions, and we are, I feel like we as humans, we're prone to go to the negative
Yes.
side first because it's easier.
Yes.
Positive is hard
Because
work.
positive is very hard work.
So
Positive
yeah,
is
then
very
you
hard
end up
work.
in that trap.
That's good. So at the end of the day, I think what it comes down to is a lot of people out there are living their lives maybe in a way with like wearing a mask.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
We have to. We have to.
to.
We need the
Yeah,
masks.
we need
Yeah.
the masks, but we shouldn't neglect ourselves.
Yeah.
The basics of who I am, what do I like, how do I react in situations, what is it that is important for me to hear from people
Yes,
as well.
yes.
I think maybe that's a big thing, is like we're so in tune to, we want to hear what people have to say about us, but we are also very easily attracted to the negative of what someone says. Like
Yeah.
20 people will go like, wow, Dirk, you've got nice hair. And then
Thank
one guy comes and he's like, where's your hair going?
Yeah,
like, you know,
yeah.
and you're like, oh.
This
And
is
that's what
true.
we will
And
remember.
that breaks you. Exactly.
Yes. So doing that reflection and just finding a very strong knowing of yourself is actually what's important. And then,
Yes, that's true.
But I think there's also a fine line. What's your opinion on this? Okay, now I've done the introspection. Okay, I know this is who I am, this is what I want. Is there a matter of arrogance that you should also be aware of? Like that you can be too, like this is what I want? Or is it better to live in a way, or do you think it's better to approach it rather in like, this is what I want and I'm not going to compromise on that? Would you see it as a good or as a bad?
Okay, no, I do believe that every approach should start with a basis of love.
Yes.
Because if you operate in a space of love, it's
Yes.
going to have a positive
That
effect.
is very true.
So then don't want to use the word arrogance, I want to use the word selfish.
Yes, okay.
Because we easily say, oh, but that was selfish.
Yeah.
But now, what do you sit with? You sit with good boundaries that
Yeah.
looks like selfish behavior,
Yeah.
but you're not selfish.
No.
You're still there for everyone else, and you still try to be a good person and whatever, but you all of a sudden look selfish because tonight I don't want to spend time with you. It's not about you.
Yeah.
It's about me. So I have a healthy boundary.
Yeah.
So I think if you approach everything that you go forward with how healthy and positive your boundaries are, and that's only going to happen when you really spend time with yourself. We just covered how everything from the outside has an influence on us.
Yes.
And with a lot of time and effort and energy that I put into this, I have realized that nothing from the outside lasts.
Yeah.
You could be the nicest person to me, and that will be so cool and cute and whatever.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, my validation needs to come from inside.
Yes.
So you inviting me for this. This is great, and I love the moment. It's a high energy charge.
Yeah.
It's an honor. It's really nice.
Yeah.
But next week I'm going to forget that we were sitting here and life has been going on.
That's true.
So I can't just hold on to that. I need to get everything that builds me up from the inside.
And that's important because we end up seeking external validation the whole time, and you can't sustain that. It's not something that can be like there the whole time.
No, because your best friend can become your worst enemy.
So
it's hard work. That's why I did this. Go back deep inside, ask yourself the honest questions.
We touched on the word arrogance.
Mm-hmm.
What would you describe arrogance as? Because we're easy to say like, oh, that guy's arrogant, or you know, she's so arrogant. What would you define arrogance? Is there a way that we can maybe look at arrogance in a different way so that we can understand those people that we maybe think are arrogant?
I would just define it as a mask.
Okay.
It's a mask that somebody puts on.
Yes.
Because normally it's a protection
from something else.
Mechanism. Yeah. So I walk in arrogant, I own the place, I own the room.
Yes.
But there's a lot that's happening inside that I have to hide. Not necessarily, but could be strong enough to handle the situation.
Yes. I had this discussion the other day with someone about the word arrogance, and then what it ended up on was we decided that maybe it's just such a high level of confidence in who I am and what I know that it might come across arrogant to someone else who might not be at that point in their life. And then maybe, like once again, the world shows me to me, because I'm reacting to that person like, that person's arrogant, maybe it's just a way of me actually wanting to be more confident, but instead, like you say, mechanism, I'm going to protect myself, so I'm going to say like, he's arrogant. And that's going to make me feel more secure in where I may be insecure.
That's true.
So that was quite an interesting way for me to think about it.
Yeah, because it eventually goes back into your own space.
Yes.
I also wrote about this in the book, just how there was this one time and I was friends with this group of friends. And there was this one guy that really irritated me. There's no other word for it.
Okay.
But it was just because I felt he was too much.
Yeah.
And at some point I got to the point where I just said, why is he too much though?
Yes.
Because I don't really know why he's too much.
Yeah, you can't put your finger on it, like you've decided that, but you don't know why.
But then asking that question to myself in my own private space, I was like, you're jealous because he just lives a good life, like a happy life.
But
he shows up and he's loud and he doesn't care what he's wearing. He's just having this free space. And I thought, okay, so I am living and operating in a mode of, what do they think of me? So I do tone it down.
And you try and fit in.
That's it. So I just decided next time I see him, I'm just going to let the moment be what it is. And I'm going to try and enjoy him instead of looking at what he's doing.
Yeah.
And it shifted the whole thing. And we turned out to be really good friends at the end of the day.
Like that, your perception changed because you've realized something about yourself.
But I had to do it. He didn't know. He wasn't part of this
exercise.
No. I was the only one in this exercise. So
that's so odd. That's so odd.
So the same thing with an arrogant person. You can sit there and say, what a...
Yes.
But maybe, I don't know what's going on at home.
Yeah.
I don't know what's in his life.
Yes.
I don't know what happened in traffic this morning. So maybe take a step back. I know this is hard. It's not easy to do this.
Yes.
But it takes practice.
Yeah. and we're not sitting here talking as gurus and like all of that, not at all. But it is a topic that I think so many people are missing, especially today. We get offended and all of this about a lot of things, but the one person that we're not focusing on is ourselves.
Is us.
Yeah. So we're always focused on like, this is happening in America, or this is happening at schools, or this is happening to my friend, or this is happening at work. But nowhere we make time for ourselves, and we're so scared of that. And over the time now, I've been doing coaching and working with people basically my whole life, or since I've started working with people. And the very intimidating thing is like in my in my gym practice, mirrors. Mirrors.
Yes.
And I realized very soon that is the most, after the weigh scale, like the scale, that's the second. It's almost like you get this.
That is war.
This reality check, because you walk in, you see your weight, you're like, oh no. Then you look into the mirror, and you're like, oh wow, that's fantastic. So, but I've noticed how many people I would ask, okay, let's do this exercise. look at yourself in the mirror so you can see you're doing the movement right or whatever. And they can't look at themselves in the mirror. And now this is now a full-length mirror from the ground up. And I think so many people are used to having like this size mirror.
A small mirror, yeah.
And they're fine with that. But if I can give you some advice, people watching, put a full-length mirror somewhere in your house so you can look at yourself from from your toes all the way to the top of your head. Not to judge yourself, but to see yourself.
But also to judge yourself.
And to, like, hey, you're getting a fitty now.
Get
like,
yourself into
get
check. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But again, bringing it back to looking after yourself or looking after yourself starts with, like, what are you eating? Are you getting movement and exercise? As you say, like, I don't expect anyone to become this fitness fanatic or freak, but just move, look after yourself. It's so good for your mental health.
That's the thing.
Aspect as well.
I always think of it as a car. If you let a car stand under a tree, it gets dirty and it perishes and it just doesn't, the battery dies.
Yes.
And the body will do the same. So yeah, exactly. We're not saying everybody should be a fitness model. And we all have different goals, but for your health, definitely. And if I say judge yourself, do it again with this in the space of nurture. You want to say, but this can be better. I can do this.
That's true.
I can just have a different approach to it. It doesn't have to change. No. We have to be realistic. We all have different body sizes and shapes and genetics and all of that. So I would love to look more like you, but it's just not my what do you call it? My system.
I would say it's not your highest value at the moment. Like, so that's the thing. Like, we all have different values. We're all in a different part in our life. So if something has to change and I have to move, like exercising 6 times a week to 2 times a week, that's going to happen because in that moment in life, my values are changing, and that's a constant change.
And I can be honest, I look at your videos and I go, love this high intensity workout,
but I won't do it.
I don't think I'm going to do it. So I appreciate it, but
that's the thing, and that's the sad part behind it is like it is motivational, but also discouraging. Like, so it can be like, yo, I like it, but I'm not going to do it. So I'm not going to try that.
I see.
So that happens a lot. So many things that happens, and I've noticed that in the exercise videos and stuff that I made in like way in the beginning, and that's why I actually toned it down with not doing that. Because as much as what it's nice to look at, I've also realized that it has made people not want to approach me because they think they're going to come to me and that's what I'm going to expect from them. Instead of like, everyone's different. We're going to look at where you are. If that's what you want to do, yes, I can take you there and we're going to get there like in the future. But you're going to have a different like way of wanting to train or different interests. So we work around that. And I quickly realized, once again, that was a version of me that I was trying to show to the world. And there's a perfect example of what was the reaction. It's like, yeah, very nice, but not for me.
Not for me, yeah.
And once again, different places, different phases, different reactions, different feelings. And that's what makes life, for me, so interesting. But also makes you think 3, 4, 5 times before you put on something that you want to put out to the world.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You get more serious of what's the real reason? Why am I doing this?
Yeah. And we don't do that.
No,
once again.
It's just too easy these days to just go on and put anything out there. But that was one of the reasons why I sent, when we spoke about this, I was like, tell me why.
Yes.
Because I need to know, why do I need to believe in why we're doing this?
Yeah, exactly. One of my mentors said, we must become curious and fascinated.
Yes,
with,
love that.
With humans and with people around you. So once you become curious and fascinated with the person I'm talking to, what that guy's doing over there, you start realizing different things.
Yes.
And once again, you are learning. You're learning, and you're learning about yourself. Because I can pick up this and I can break it, and it might not bother you. Someone else would be like, why are you breaking that thing?
Yeah.
So it's so interesting once you start doing that. And in your book here, you said I had a mirror moment, and I had to ask, what was my part in this?
Yeah.
And for me, like that, what was my part now in breaking this.
Breaking that, yeah.
Yeah. Why am I doing it? That's actually what it comes down to. And then the next chapter or next part in the book you go into there, I see is forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Where does forgiveness come in to you? When do you feel forgiveness is necessary or something that you should practice?
Always. Forgiveness is always necessary, even if it's just for you.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's always necessary. It's not easy.
That is not very easy at all.
It's one of the hardest things,
Yeah.
especially on the severity of the case.
Yes.
But I do sometimes, even I sit and I think I have to forgive this person.
Yeah.
With the whole backstory in mind, thinking, but I don't want to, and why should I?
Yes.
And I don't even see myself forgiving that person. But then I still say the words, and often in the mirror, I'm still like, I do forgive you, because I know at some point it's going to land.
That's very strong.
Because it's mostly for me.
Yeah,
that person has gone on with life.
Exactly. Most likely they're not living like, oh, I wish I didn't do that or say that to Dirk. They won't maybe even know that they did something to you.
It could just go up in the air.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you do read the book, there's like a lot of deep stuff way in the beginning.
Cool.
I don't go into detail,
No.
but you'll really realize why I had to focus on forgiveness.
Okay, that's good.
So,
that's good.
But I just also wanted to say the mirror moment is really just when you have an argument with someone,
Yes.
or at work, or at
Yes.
school, or in your relationship. I think that's the most important.
Yeah.
Is you go in and there's this is the person I love, and now we have this thing.
Yeah.
You have to go to the mirror.
Yes.
You don't have to literally stand in the mirror. You can. It will be better for you. I think it will be better.
It's much stronger. It's more intimate with you, talking to you.
Yes, but you need to dissect the situation and go, cool, I'm mad at you, but what did I do to get into this?
Yes.
Because we all play a part.
And that's very strong of yourself to do. And it takes a
also
lot
not
of
easy.
practice, and it's not easy. You talk about grace. You say always carry grace with you.
Yes.
It's a very broad term.
Yes, because grace, you kind of, now you take in forgiveness and
Yes.
what I just mentioned, that you operate in love.
Yeah.
So when you combine all of that, I think it's just, if you handle yourself as a gracious person, it does come across as well.
That's very
and that's what I think I've just seen with people, how they respond to me when I am more like that.
Yes.
You create a healthier, nicer, and welcoming space.
Yeah. For me, that I like practicing that daily when I go to the shops, and the lady behind the till helps me. You try and always say hello.
Yes.
How are you?
Yes.
You open that graciousness, happy, good feeling, and even when you finish, thank you. I hope you have a nice day. Leave them with a good feeling. Some of this beforehand is energy. We all carry energy around with us, and it's very contagious. It's very, very contagious. And like you said, the negative comments, usually the negative energy is much more contagious than the positive. A negative can much easier pull down a positive than other way around.
Because it's a lower vibration.
Yeah.
So the low vibrations they chill easily.
Yeah.
The higher vibration takes work.
Yeah.
And conscious effort and thinking about it.
To get there. So my way of seeing it is, if I can bring that positive energy to someone that's working at the till, having maybe seen a lot of people that either don't even greet them, that think they are their slaves, I feel we must always see everyone as the same as us.
Yes,
and
exactly.
even if I can't gain something from you, I would treat you the same way as what I would if I can gain a lot from someone.
Oh yeah.
And I usually, we say we shouldn't judge in a way, or I analyze. Let's rather use that word. I usually analyze people like that in situations. So let's say I get to a braai or something, or where a group of friends are, and you get there and you maybe know 2 or 3 people. You can quickly see who wants to talk to you because now they've heard this is who you are, or who just comes and talks to you and they've got no benefit to talk to you, or what is this going to gain for their business, or what is this going to gain for that. Then I'm always like, that person is genuine. As to that person really just wanted to.
What do they want from you?
What do we want from you? So if you can treat someone with a good, positive way and energy, even if you can get nothing back from them.
Mm.
I love that.
Yeah, but I feel like that was the point in humanity. Is
Yes.
what can we do to contribute?
Yes.
Not what can you do to benefit me.
Me. Yeah.
So then, as soon as you swing that around,
Yes.
then immediately you start being friendlier to everyone around you.
Yeah.
I mean, just somebody like you say at
Yes.
the checkout counter. It's I might see you again tomorrow.
Yes, God.
I might, and then you will remember me. So
yeah, exactly.
But that's again thinking about that there might be a tomorrow.
Yes, yeah, might. That's good. So Dirk, with the acting, do you find that it's interesting to be able to play these different roles that you have learned or have seen either happen to you that you've been through? Do you incorporate that when you get to act, do some method acting or anything like that? What do you?
It's funny because I think as an actor you become all these different people.
Yeah.
This is a hard one because
Yeah.
you do have to put so much focus into really delivering a good character.
Yes.
So you have to become that character.
Yes.
And someone like me, I put a lot of work into really being me.
Okay. Yeah. And
then
now you have
having
to
go
put a
yes,
mask on and be
someone
the opposite
else
or something else.
But luckily, I have fun with it.
Okay.
So I do go back in time, and I bring stuff from the past to the character.
Cool.
That is in alignment with.
Yes.
Like this is just an example. It's not my truth.
Yes.
But let's say the character has a cat.
Okay.
And the cat dies.
Yes.
And I am not a cat person.
Me neither. Just by the way, off topic.
Now I have to go play this cat-loving person.
Yes.
So I get to go back in time, love my dog, go use that,
yes,
deliver the same performance.
Cool.
So I just keep the two separate.
Yes.
But obviously, learning a lot about people, I think I benefit from bringing what other people also tell me and the stuff that they go through as a coach.
That's cool.
I do get to take from those stories. And make it my own.
Make it your own. And if you have to now act a heavy role, or like let's say now you this hardcore gangster guy, you the mafia boss, and it goes against everything that you are. Is it difficult for you once you finish with that role that you had to play to lift your energy back up? Or do you say that because you do a lot of introspection, it's easy for you to flip that switch on off?
Okay, so I'm also a trained method actor that we do. There are certain exercises, physical exercises to drop a character.
Okay.
So that I don't take that character home.
Yes, okay.
And then I bring that into my general practice. Even some days when I know, okay, something triggered me and I struggle a bit with this one, then I do the same shaking and whatever I would do to release a character.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate enough to have stable, but there was this one place where I played a serial killer, which I'm not, obviously, but you go into the mean and all those looks, but you just leave it there. You shake it off.
That's cool.
And I know I'm playing a part. It's not... That's the fun thing of being an actor. You don't have to be that person.
So if you go to work and you have to be that person at work, leave that person at work and go home and be your loving partner or husband or wife, because your immediate surrounding needs that.
And it's not, life is not a TV show.
Yes, yes. That's true.
So you are not an actor full time.
So even though you feel like you can be a serial killer at work, don't go do it at home. Don't. Please don't.
Please read my book.
Yes.
Please read it.
Dirk, on that, where can we get your book? Where can we get the book?
Because it's very, I only recently released. So it's still in the early stages. For now, the best thing would be to either send me a DM on Instagram.
Okay, where can we find you on Instagram?
It's Dirk Chase.
Dirk Chase, straightforward.
Straightforward. There's only one of me. There should only be one of me. And then you can send me a DM, but I know that a lot of times, because it's strangers, it goes into different files that you don't edit. So I don't. The other thing is you can just send an email to info@dirkchase.com.
Okay, cool. So there you have it.
And then I'll send the necessary details because I'm still in the process of having an online buying system.
Yes. Okay.
So,
all right. Dirk is very good at replying to messages and stuff. So you won't
try.
You won't contact him and not get anything back.
I try my best, but because we just spoke about boundaries, I do tend to now have cutoffs for certain times because otherwise I'll just end up working all day.
That's something I think we all can learn from and we all can do. It's very easy to take something home, still carry on till 10 o'clock at night. And once again, that's why I said now, if you go home, leave your work at work and spend time with your immediate family or your immediate surrounding.
Or just you.
Or just you, yeah. If you're that very scary one, but just you. Don't run away, don't go somewhere else. Just sit in your own silence, in your own space. Get yourself a good corner in your house that can be your corner. Even if you just sit there in the mornings for 5 minutes before you start your day or tonight before you go to bed and just reset. It's almost like Dirk said with the acting, like when he shakes that character off. If you can daily shake off the stuff that is going to withdraw your energy, it's going to pull you down, it's going to make you think different about yourself, and that doesn't align with who and what you think and know you are.
Yes.
I think that's how it slowly builds up.
Yes.
And essentially then you sit with this big mountain of things on you that will change you and that will make you do things that's not in your nature or that's not part of what you actually are. So I think shaking it off.
You need to let your soul shine. Your soul needs to come out. I think that's part of life.
Yes.
And everything that adds on just clouds the soul.
Yeah.
So what you just said, spending time by yourself is the hard one.
Yeah.
It's only difficult in the beginning.
Yes.
It's supposed to get easier.
Yeah.
If you do the work. If it doesn't get easier, explore.
Yes.
To do more of the good work to find out.
That's true.
Because eventually it gets easier. I remember when I started on a meditation journey.
Okay.
The first time I did meditation, 20 seconds into it, my eyes started everything started tingling and I got irritated and I didn't know what I was doing. My whole body was like, what are you doing to me?
Okay, yes, yeah, doesn't know this.
And now I sometimes catch myself 2 hours.
Sure.
And that's long. 2
Wow,
hours
that's
is long
very
meditation.
Yeah, that's very good.
Where at the end, I'm not focused on the time. I do my set and then I look at the phone after that and see what the time is. And now, okay, 2 hours is long, but obviously I've done work in that 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's not just sitting.
Exactly.
But find your journey. If some people go to the gym I shake out at home, but I also go to the gym because I don't always shake.
Yes.
But we need to find what works for us.
That's very true.
Because you and I may look similar, but we're completely different people.
Yeah. That's very, very, very true. Yeah. What works for you doesn't work for me. It's like.
And you would, if I may ask, you in your own journey with everything that you've been doing.
Yes.
I can obviously tell that there's been a lot of self-reflection and introspection.
Yes.
So you would be comfortable to say that it does get easier.
It does get easier. In the beginning, it's very tough because one decision is usually affects 5, 6, 7 things around you. So then you need to start making a decision. Okay, if I'm going to stop doing this, I'm going to start doing this.
Yeah.
But it's going to influence this. So it's going to make it very hard to stop this. But then you need to think like, okay, but is it hard for there's a surrounding area, or is it hard for me? And then you need to
be selfish or arrogant or self-love.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And then you realize, you know what? Okay, let me implement this because this comes first. And it's a very magical thing to experience, and I've experienced this a few times in my life. I've experienced it in a high sport level. I've experienced it in stuff that I've really put myself into. It's once you align with yourself, and once you align with what it is that you want, where you're going to go, you're very specific about it. You're very, very specific about it. And I think in our daily life, we should be like that. We should be very specific on where we're heading, by when we want to achieve that, and how we're going to achieve that.
100%.
And then if you implement the meditation, that's how you stay on track of that, because it's very easy to wander off this. We all want this, but when it comes to doing what it takes to do it, okay. But let me come back to every time I've experienced that, you get like a flow state and everything just works out one after the other. And then you almost want to say that the universe is listening.
Yeah.
You know, this is what I want, the universe is going to give it to me. The more specific, the more straightforward I am with that. And I'm going to start doing things that will lead me to that. I'm going to start saying things that's going to lead me to that. I'm going to start doing the things that's going to give me that outcome. And I know it's very difficult for people to grasp that sometimes, because you might not be in the space right now to feel that. But once you start feeling that, I don't think you will ever go back.
No, you won't.
You won't ever go back.
And it will be foolish to go back.
It will be foolish to go back. And for me, I was at a point where I wanted to try and please everyone, and you try and at the cost of yourself.
Oh yeah.
Not knowing who you are at the end of the day. You know you are, but you can't be who you want to be, because the whole time you have to please this, please that, please that. And then I just decided, you know what, enough. This is what I want. This is what I want to work with. This is how I'm going to work. And people have gone. People have stayed.
Oh, you will lose friends.
And yeah.
You will lose friends and family. If you start changing, it happens.
And I'm happy and I'm fine with that, because it's just everything makes every block fall into place. Better. So,
and I just wanted to add to that, because you just said, if you show the universe will give you.
Yes. Yeah.
I know personally that a lot of people struggle with that concept.
Yes.
Because now it feels like it's pie in the sky.
Yeah.
If you say that you want to buy a yellow car, that's what you're going to see.
Yes. Yeah.
So use that same concept.
Yep.
If you start thinking, I want a better looking body, for instance, you will think about it every time you eat a cheeseburger.
Yes. Yeah.
Every time you pass the gym.
Yep.
It will start showing you. So that is the universe
showing
up
you.
for you. For those more logical thinkers who actually end up
so the
watching
bigger
this.
the want, the better the better the results.
Yes,
you know?
That's it.
So Dirk, I'm going to end this off. It's been a really insightful chat, and I like the way, there's a lot of similar ways of thinking.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, you can go and trial and error this over and over and over. It does work. It does make things in your life fit in. Even though when you start, it might feel like your life's falling apart now. I've started this, now everything's wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're on the right track.
You're on the right track.
It's happening.
You are doing something right.
That's
so
it.
For 2025, what is Dirk's goals and aspirations for 2025?
2025 is a year of really becoming still and let the greatness form in the still and silent space.
Yes.
Because everything happens and it's busy, but with everything that I've gone through, I've realized that when you get still, that's where the power is. That's where you hear the inner voice. That is where the magic happens. Yeah. So 2025 for me is, we'll see. We will see.
That's good.
And for those watching, if you don't want to use my services or JP's, find someone.
Yes.
This is not a medical book. This is just a guideline that I use, so that if you read this, you should want to maybe then go further.
That's true.
Go find yourself a coach. Go find yourself a psychologist or a psychiatrist, a doctor. Do what you need to do, because we are just here to just show you the nice way.
That's it. 100%.
So that's it. But that's it for me. It's going to be a still year, and I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen with you as well.
Thanks, Dirk. Thank you. And thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, your experience. Like I said, go read this book. You might relate. You most definitely are going to relate. I can guarantee there's a lot of relation points that you can have, and see his journey and learn out of that. Do the introspection, and just make 2025 build on. But Dirk, thank you so much.
Thanks
and
a lot.
Best of luck for 2025.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.